Hello everyone, hope you all are good. So as we know, our online classes are going on. So here is your fifth chapter of social studies, that is responsibilities of a good citizen 2. It is prepared by myself, Alvina Gill. So I request you all to go through the chapter very carefully and read it again and again. So first of all, the topic of this chapter is participation in election. As we know, election firstly starts from the school, as schools are nurseries to learn the initial lessons of democracy and the democratic norms and procedures. School elections are meant for learning and the principles of democracy. Democracy is a system of government by all the eligible citizens of a state. At school level, students can be motivated to participate in school election to elect a class monitor or a prefect. These election processes will inculcate a sense of responsibility in the students. Also, the students will be made familiar with the whole process of electioneering. Monitorship provides practical lessons in leadership and management. Several surveys have shown that a majority of successful leadership in different walks of life were prefects or monitors at school. The main purpose of conducting class election is to instill a democratic spirit among the students and to equip them with the skills of leadership. Students must actively participate in the school elections. They should adhere to the rules, regulations, and the code of conduct for the various stages of election. Student voters should evaluate the candidate on the basis of merit. The staff members and the school administration must ensure fairness and uniformity. Now we move on to next topic, that is qualities of good monitor or a prefect. A student can be a good monitor if he possesses the following qualities. As when we select the class monitor in your class, we see the qualities of a student, that he has the qualities of a monitor or not. So come, let's see what all qualities should a good monitor or a prefect should have. Understanding. A class monitor or prefect has to be understanding and considerate about other students and their needs. He or she should be able to give correct judgment on the matter at hand. Number 2, unprejudiced. A good monitor is always unbiased and impartial. He or she must not favor his, her best friend and do wrong to others. He must be fair in his or her treatment with other students. Number 3, responsible. A good class monitor should be able to take responsibility of his or her actions. He also should be able to handle any mistake done by other students. Number 4, well disciplined. A good class monitor should be well disciplined himself and must not indulge in any kind of mischief. Means, if a student have to be a monitor, he should be or she should be well disciplined, responsible, understanding and not biased. Then only he can be a good monitor. Next, well, not complaining frequently. A good monitor should not complain to the teacher again and again. He or she must report regarding the top 3 disturbing students each Friday. Say, also minor issue could be solved by the monitor himself or herself. Means a monitor should not come again and again to the teacher and complain again and again about the minor complaints of the student. He should handle himself the small or minor mistakes of a students. Now, the last one is setting an example for others to follow. Means a monitor must be an ideal student. He should not indulge in talking and disturbing the class, while at the same time writing the name of the students who do so. He must set examples for others to follow. Means he should be idle for other students. Means he should not disturb the class or he should not talk. He should be like very disciplined in the class so that other students can see him and try to become as like him. Now we move on to the next topic, that is private property and public property. First of all, we will go through the private property. So, private property refers to a land or belonging owned by a person or a group. This property is kept for inclusive use of an individual. Means private property is a property which is owned by ourselves or a person of group. For example, like we see, you're having your pencil, eraser, books. These are your private property. It's not public property. The various things used by an individual in his day-to-day life, such as books, pencil, paper, toys, etc., are all part of private property. In fact, vehicles such as bicycle, scooter and car used to commute from one place to another also come under the category of private property. All these are bought from personal income of an individual. Nobody can use these things without the permission of the owner. Such property is referred to a private property. Now, list out the properties owned by you and your families and write in a rough notebook. Now, let's move on to next topic, public property. The property to which all of us has a common right is called a public or national property. Public roads, parks, places of worship, educational institutions, libraries, buses and trains are some of them. Historical monuments and places of heritage are also included in this category. No individual can claim ownership over these properties. The government spends a lot of money to make and maintain this property. This money comes from the taxes paid by the citizens. Any wastage or damage of his property is a loss for each and every citizen, as the government uses public fund to make such properties available to the general public. It's important that we take care of the public property as much as we take care of our own property. This is our duties and responsibility to take care of the public property. Caring for. Now, let's move on to next topic, caring for public property. It helps us to fulfill our needs. it is difficult to imagine life without these facilities, so we must learn to care for public property. First one is monuments, heritage. Monuments and historical buildings are very important to understand our past. These are an important part of our heritage. A huge amount of public money is spent to maintain the monuments and heritage sites that are found in our country. Some people deface them by writing their names on the walls. This is a wrong act. We must not damage any part to such buildings. Number 2, means of transport. Buses and trains or other means of transportation are also categorized as public properties. Some people damage the seats of buses by tearing the seat covers. Scribbling names on the painted area is also a wrong act. Others steal bulbs and tap fitting from the train. If we see anyone doing wrong, we must inform the concerned authorities. Railway platforms and bus stand should be kept spick and span. Third one, park. You must have observed how people of all ages enjoy exercising, walking and playing in the park. There are flowers, green plants, benches, fountains and swings in some park. We should walk on the path meant for walking and play in the play area. We should not pluck flowers or damage plants. Some people walk with their pet dogs in the park. They must bring them on a leash. If the dog litters, the litter should be collected and thrown in the waste box. Next one is street lighting. Street lighting is meant for the convenience of the common people. Street lights should not be damaged. Some children throw stones and break them. Street lights are important to light up the city at night. They provide the safety and prevent accidents. Taking illegal connection from street light is a wrong practice. It is the theft of electricity. We should do our best to prevent this wrong. Can you imagine yourself walking on a road at night where there are no street lights? What could happen to you? Public places and offices. We must develop a habit of keeping the public places and offices spick and span. Throwing litter in the public places, spitting and damaging windows and doors are bad habits. We should take pride in keeping our town or city clean. Lifts are provided in multi-storied buildings. We should use them carefully. We should use public toilet without wasting water. We should not urinate anywhere we like. In some countries, the law is very strict. The people are conscious of cleanliness. Each one of us must ensure that people follow proper habits and learn to clean. Now the next one is public library. Public libraries are kept up in many places for the benefit of people. People borrow books and magazines from these libraries. Some people tear off pages of the books, deface their covers, or make marks on them. This is very wrong as books are public property. These books belongs to all of us. If a person damages books, others suffer, we should take care of them. Now, the next one is caring of school property. The school provide facilities that are used by everyone. We should not scribble or scratch on the desk or tilt chair while sitting on them. This is not only damages the property, but it is also very dangerous. The walls of classroom should be kept clean. We should take care of each and everything in our school because that is our school and we study in that school. So it is our duty and responsibility to take care of our school property. Now the next one is playground. Playground should be kept free from litter. We should throw waste papers and fruit peels in waste bin, kept at the proper place. Sports equipment should be used carefully. Water taps should be turned off after use. If we learn to follow rules on how to save public property in school, we shall become a ideal student. So, students, you are the future and you have to learn it very carefully because you are the people who are going to take care of our country. So, we should take care of our private as well as public property and it is very important for us. As we know that now even our Prime Minister is behind this for the Swachhata Abhiyan. So it is our duty to keep our public surroundings neat and clean. So students, it is very important like if we learn to follow rules on how to save public property in school, we shall become ideal students. So class, I request you to read this chapter very carefully and learn the lesson very carefully. As your UT syllabus is finished and your UT syllabus is from lesson 1 to lesson 5 and in your summer vacation learn all your lessons very carefully and be safe, stay at home and enjoy your vacation. Thank you students.